Hey everybody, thank you for joining me back at John H. Queensland. I am John H. Queensland, my name's John. And today I thought I'd take the advantage of, while I was playing around with Doom Eternal and the computer games and giving my thoughts on why I enjoy games, I thought I would take this opportunity to try a board game that I would love to formally review, but it's really hard for me to do because you've seen it all in my reviews. I'll say, game's really simple, it's really fun to play, but it's hard to show why. So I'm going to try it with a digital board game, Tokaido, the Hangover game. I talked about this last week on some Steam board games that are really great to play by yourself. And I'm going to give it a try today and see if I can show you how to play. So one of the reasons I'm going to show you how to play is because while the game is a very faithful reproduction of the board game, it doesn't do the greatest job of actually teaching you how to play. So I'll actually be going through the tutorial now, showing you some of the differences, pointing out some of the things you probably should be aiming for. Otherwise, it's probably going to be a good 6 to 12 games of trial and error to work out why this happened and why that happened. But as you can see, the art style, this is the art style of the board game. You don't get the panoramic effect. Parallax effect on the board game as you do here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to turn the tutorial back on so that we can take you through this. And when you play the board game, one of the things is the Tokaido Trail itself was a pilgrimage of about 5 to 6 weeks from Tokyo to Kyoto. Well, back then it was Edo to Kyoto. Only really wealthy travelers would do it. And the point of Tokaido is to just go and have a holiday and have fun and have the most enriching experience. So whereas in a lot of games, if you get the most land, achieve the most power, get the most items, that's your scoring mechanism, that's what you're trying to do. Here you're trying to actually have a holiday. You travel a path, the game is split into 4 stages, which is denoted by an inn at the end of each stage, and you just try to enjoy yourself. And there are different endgame scoring bonuses that try to promote that. For example, if you visited the most hot springs in the game just give you victory points, either 2 or 3 if you're lucky. And you can meet people. People will give you some will give you money, some will give you points, some will donate to a temple for you. If you've sampled the most food, what's the other one? Oh, if you bought the most things from the shops. So they're all very holiday type goals, but Tokaido is simultaneously very laid back and very easy to play, but also does require a bit of strategic thinking on your part. There's a lot of risk reward. So when you start a game, most of the time you'll see exactly what you get now. You get given 2 different cards and you pick which character you want to play. Different people will have different abilities. How many coins you start with is shown there. It's pretty simple, and they each have a special ability. So Xenomon can purchase his first souvenir from the shop for 1 coin. Basically, your first purchase is only going to cost you $1 every time, no matter what. So, a little bit of cheap shopping, that's always handy. No, I don't. I want to go to Sasayoka. Starts with less money, but whenever she buys anything, the cheaper item is free if you buy at least 2 souvenirs. So if you go to the shop, which is all randomly generated with cards, and there's 3 different items and they're all 3 coins each, most of the costs are 1, 2 or 3. She can get 1 for free, like bonus. So it's a lot of risk and reward and trying to work out how to have your journey, how to have the most experience, and also maximize your abilities. But if you don't want to get into the nitty-gritty, Tokaido is a game you can overthink really easily. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flick back to Xenomon, because he's just got an easier adventure. And in this game we're playing a 5-player game. Tokaido's 2 to 5 players. Realistically though, I would say it's a 3 to 5 player game, because the third player... when you play a 2-player game, there's a special rule where you have to play a neutral traveller that you're both controlling and taking part of. start the adventure. And so, the tutorial, as you can see, works out, we'll tell you what's going on, but only to a degree. Everything I've just told you, when you don't have the board game in front of you, it's a lot of information overload. Normally I'll be handing people cards and pointing to different things on the board and showing what's happening. It's really hard to do that on the digital format, so if I've already confused and lost a few people, stick with me because I will be talking over all these points as I'm clicking on different areas as we play. So the prestigious, because John can speak English, welcome to the prestigious Tokaido Road. Try to make this journey as rich and experienced as possible. So you want to stop at the most stops. Why is that difficult? I'll do it when we go through here. So travel, you'll pass through the magnificent countryside, taste delicious culinary specialties, purchase souvenirs, smoke in hot springs, and have unforgettable encounters. So they're all your basic stops. There's only two that they haven't mentioned. One is the farm, where you can earn money, and one is the temple, where you can visit and show respect. Journey will last 4 days, that's the 4 different spots. Each day you will stop at several places along the road, and now it's building it. If I could 3D print Tokaido, this is very much how I would imagine the game to look. The art style, yeah, okay, it's a computer game. For a computer game it looks fairly simplistic, but it's very representative of the art style used in the game, and most of the card art and everything is the art used in the game. So a lot of white on the board, there's not much to distract you. Very simple. It's one of the reasons why still my friends, I loved it when they told me this. They call it the hangover game. This is the game that after a big night out, they pull out and play where they don't have to think. This is the inn. Everyone ends at the end of the day. 4 inns along the way. Yep. Okay, so I'm not quite going to do what the tutorial's saying. So here we have the main road with all the different stops. And yes, it wants me to stop at the shop, and I will get into this in a little while. See this order down here? Well, the person furthest away from the road and furthest to the left, because that's opposite, furthest to the left is the last person travelling. That's how you determine first turn order. The person that's the furthest back takes the next go. So if I wanted to just fly ahead now and go to the farm and get 3 coins, pretty easy to tell what it does, it has 3 coins. That's great, I can do that, nothing's stopping me. I can go straight to the inn and skip everything. But just like when you're on holiday, if you're rushing around to do one particular thing, or you give something priority over the other, you miss the chance to do everything else behind you. You can never go back in this game, you can only ever travel forward. So as you play the game, actually it's going to make me do this little bit first. So why do you want to buy souvenirs? So here it is, it's telling you got 3 unique souvenirs. Well, that's nice. And I know that my special power, the first item I buy is only going to be worth $1. So if you look around here, you can see that one of the coloured coins is greyed out because I won't have to buy it. This is a set collection mechanic. So there's 4 different types of item, and we have 3 different types on display. I can't remember what they all are, but you can see the symbols. When you buy first item of a set, you get a point. Second item, 3 points. Third, 5 points. And when you get the whole set, that last item will give you 7 points. So if you can earn multiple sets, you can make a lot of money and make a lot of points really, really quickly. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to buy something that's worth more than $1 because I got it for really cheap. Okay, now it's telling you after the decision. This is what I mean by the tutorial in this game doesn't really teach you how to play. And yes, you can choose not to buy anything, but I am going to spend a second coin, and I'm going to spend to get that. Now my choice is, because unfortunately you can't flick between, on the board you can see everything that's happening in front of you. These coins are the stock is shuffled and set at the start of the game. So everyone that comes here is going to have 3 items to look at. If I left now and someone else managed to get to the shop, they could only buy 1 item. So there's a little bit of, do I want to buy everything? And then that would use almost all of my money on the very first thing I'm doing. Or do I want to cut back or buy things that I think other people are hoping for. So I might not fully maximize my points, but I won't let other people maximize theirs. And that's where a lot of the strategy and a fairly sedate, aggressive tactic of denying other players points comes into play, and Tokaido does this really, really well. But at the moment, considering I've usually finished the first day by now, I'm going to leave it there. Back on the road, I want to show you something. Click here. Okay. It's been a little while since I played the tutorial, sorry. So, your collections, yep. So there's the 4 different items for the collection, so you can see what you need to complete the collection, and then if I buy another fan object, I'm starting another collection, so I'll get a point for that. You can make multiple collections, but each time a card is used in one collection, the point's only used for that. This is how many, that doesn't look right, this is how many hot springs you visited. There is an achievement at the end of the game for the person that visited the most. This is how many travellers you've met. Travellers are people that, again, it's just random pile of cards, draw the card, and you get to whatever the card says. Some painters will give you part of a painting, some will give you coins, some will donate to the temple for you. Food, when you go to the inn at the end of each round, or day, as the game splits it up, you buy a meal. You taste different food. Each time you buy something, it's worth 6 victory points to you. The catch is, there is another in-game achievement where, there is also an in-game achievement for the person that spoke to the most people. The person that spent the most money on food will get an extra 3 points at the end of the game. The other one is not actually, oh no, it is here, the temple. So when you go to a temple, you can donate. You can't go to a temple unless you've got at least 1 coin. Each time you go to the temple, you can donate a certain amount of money, and the person that donated the most coinage at the end of the game will get 10 points, and then I think it's 7 for second, 5 for third, 2 for fourth, and fifth gets nothing. And then there's also, these last 3 are paintings. You can paint a rice paddy, a mountain, or a seascape. Each section, I think, is worth 3 points, and the first person to complete the panorama will get a 3-point bonus. That's not at the end of the game, that's as soon as you finished it. If you're the first person, you get the card straight away, so you get those points. And this is all that you're doing. I know that's a lot of information to dump on you. It will make sense as we start playing. But this is all Tokaido is. It's sitting back and set collection. Now that it's not my turn, the next player could move, so she got to buy 1 item because I only left 1 item, and she didn't get to use her power because she didn't. Is that her? No, that's not her. If she was the player that had the power where the second item was free, she wouldn't have been able to do that. So that's where you sort of have to weigh up your pros and cons for how much do you want to play to enrich your own experience and build your own score, or just deny the other players from doing anything. And so, because she came in after me, she was technically further away from the road, so she gets to have her turn before me. And that is where the turn order can get a little bit confusing, and it took most people I know that I've suggested the digital version to a couple of times before they got their head around that, but that's the entire reasoning as to why that happens. So now, I can't go to any of these places because it's full. But as you click on each place, it does tell you what they do. So I could go to the hot springs and just score another couple of points. I can go to the mountains and start painting a mountain panorama. I could go to the farm and earn 3 coin. I could go to the shop and go shopping again. Or I could go to the shrine and donate some money. I can actually technically go all the way to the inn, like it will let me do that, and that will end my turn for this phase. Why I don't want to do that is because everybody else down here will just be able to continue their journey, and I just have to wait and sit until they come. So what I'm going to do for the moment is, so if I go there, 3 more people will go in front of me. I might not be able to go shopping again, probably won't be able to get money again. I'm going to risk it, I'm going to do it. So I'm going to go hot spring, So we just click on the hot spring, there we are. If you're lucky, you'll get a card with monkeys on it and you get 3 points, but it's guaranteed points for taking that turn. Doesn't cost you anything, doesn't do anything else, just lets you play. So now he started painting, and then he started painting. So now, unless they take, okay, so they didn't take it. So now it's going to be my turn next because I'm the furthest back. So I could go get some more money, which probably isn't a bad idea. So I'm going to do that. The only reason why I'm doing that at the moment is I'm actually trying to build a bit of money to just randomly tomorrow or the third day just go on a bit of a spending spree. If you get to the inn and you have no money, you can't buy food, which means you won't get any points. That's it. That's all the penalty. You lose 6 victory points, and it will cost you towards the, I think it's the culinary. I can't remember the exact name for the achievement. So if you make the wrong choice in this game, yeah, sure, there's downsides, but nothing bad happens to you. There's no penalties, there's no missed turns or anything like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the temple. Yep, can't donate more than 3. The temple will give you bonus victory points. Okay, so here's where it's telling you this. So that's not too bad. But it doesn't tell you most of the culinary and the points involved and everything from memory, unless this tutorial has been upgraded, in which case disregard half of what I said. So I can donate. How do I donate multiple coins? There we go. I just do that. So I'm just going to donate 1 coin. And now, while they have their turn, it's not going to let me use that button yet, so I have to wait to use that. There is a tracker that shows where you're at with all the different categories and achievements. So if I go to mine, I can see I've got 1 point, but I could already see that here. Oh, my turn again. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I could go paint, or I could go to the hot spring. I could go straight to the inn. If I go to the hot spring, I'm guaranteed going to be the last person into the inn, which is going to guarantee me the first position out of the inn on day 2. So I'm actually going to do that. Oh, and there's monkeys, so I got 3 points. And this is it. This is the game. Normally, especially digitally, I'm more than halfway through the game by now. This has been a lot longer because I've been chatting and talking. But when you play the board game version of this, most of the time when people are having their turn, sitting and chatting with people and a little bit of smack talk, but we're just sitting and enjoying and catching up. This is one of the few games where it's not what a lot of people call a multiplayer solitaire game where you just play your own game and off you go. You can play it like that, absolutely. But you can play from turn to turn, and because even though I hit you with you got this and you got this and you got this, there is only a couple of choices realistically that you can make. So even if you're someone that has a lot of trouble making up their mind, you can have your turn really, really quickly. Like now I'm talking, I'm not even paying attention. But when I do sort of turn my focus to it, okay, so it's telling you it gives you the 6 points per meal. Now, I can spend 3 coins, 2 coins, or 1 coin. Doesn't matter. I'm going to get 6 points no matter what. But the person that spends the most at the end of the game is going to get 3 bonus points. Because my character's a shopper, I'm not really worried about having 3 bonus points at the end of the game because I can use my ability for shopping to make multiple set collection and get more than 3 points. So I'm just going to go for the cheap, the miso. Now, the catch is you can't always just go, I'll just go the 1 meal, because you can't order the same food more than once on your trip. So getting in at the end of the day can be a little bit of a catch, because if somebody only left a 3 coin meal, for example, and I've only got 2 coins, I'm not going to be able to eat it all. So even forgetting about the culinary bonus, I'm going to lose 6 points. So little bit of experience and a judgment call, and it's always different per situation. There's no one way to win Tokaido. But it's telling me now that okay, now it's going to tell me about this bit. Current rankings, yep. Below each I'm going to see who's leading. Tap anywhere to exit the bonus screen. Okay, so this player, it's not telling me who they are, has painted 2 paddy fields. So they're about to complete that panorama. They want to get to a paddy. Mountain, it's a tie between 2. The mountain is 4 sections. And the seascape is 5 sections. Not too many people have concentrated on the seascape. This individual has paid 3 coins to the temple, so they're coming first. He probably won't put more money or want to go to a temple unless myself or another character adds money to the temple, because he's going to want to keep that position for the end score bonus. Plus he scored 3 points for giving money. I scored a point for giving $1 as well. So at the moment I'm coming second, so I'm guaranteed going to get 7 points. There's only one person that's met travellers, so they're getting that 3-point bonus plus whatever benefits those travellers have given them. I'm actually coming second for shopping, which is a little unfortunate, but you know, it happens. But I've been to the most hot springs, and I'm definitely not doing well for the cuisine challenge. That's how you read that screen. Everything now that we've just talked about for the last quarter of an hour-ish is exactly how you play the game for the rest of the 3 days, 4 days total. So each section's a little bit different. As you start to play the game and get used to Tokaido, this is where the board game is a little bit easier, because you can see all 4 days, you can plan ahead a little bit more. You need to know the board in the digital game, so that just comes through experience. Or I would suggest, if you're really worried about it, just having a picture of the board game. Board Game Geek has plenty of them. And just being able to see and plan your moves a little bit better that way. So Ocean Shrine, not worried. Get some money, and then we're getting into some pretty heavy stuff. So I'm just going to grab some money straight away, because I'm not worried about the temple. With the temple, the other 3 players that haven't contributed so far, they come equal last. You have to have $1 in the pot, so to speak, to be able to get that end of game bonus. And then, as I said, the painter, he really wanted that 3rd one, so he's got the 3 points for the painting, everyone gets that, plus an additional 3 points for completing it first. And that's why this is the victory points that we've gotten so far. So you can keep pretty good track of what everyone's doing, even if you're doing what I'm doing and pretty much ignoring what the computer's showing you while you're playing the game. The only thing you can't do, and this does annoy me, is you can't speed up the computer. If I was to pick somewhere far away, it will give me the benefit straight away and animate me walking, and then the computer will have their go. That's the closest it's got to a speed up. Okay, so now I've got all my money. I could start the paintings, and that would probably put people all through here, which would get me close to being able to buy something. So let's do that. Plus it looks pretty to paint a picture. So as I said, the Mountain Panorama, I am speaking shorthand, I'm sorry, has 4 cards, and as you complete each section of the card, each section of the panorama, more and more of the painting gets revealed to you as you play, which I think is pretty cool. Off they go. Yeah, another thing I'm a little bit unhappy with the digital implementation is I can't just say, oh, what's your power again? It's supposed to be open information, everyone should be able to know what the other players can do, but the digital version doesn't let you do it. The other thing I'm not a massive fan of the digital game, or do I want to risk going to the spring? This is where I was saying, this is where your risk and reward starts coming into it. So I've got a lead on the spring so far. If I go there, it'll pretty much guarantee I go straight to the inn, because if I go there, there's 4 other players, 1, 2, 3, 4. Unless somebody skips and goes straight to the inn, which is pretty unlikely, which means I'll be the last to go next turn, but I would have my choice of what to buy. That for a mountain, I don't think is worth it. So I'm going to go to the hot spring. And I've got monkeys again, so that's another 3 points for me. So as you can see, the scores are, like, they're a little bit all over the place, and by the end of the third day, you'll see that our scores are actually pretty tightly packed. Where most of your jumps come from, like a lot of Euro games, is the end-game scoring. That's where you get your bonuses from. But I can sit and talk and just chatter away and say, well, I'm doing this. I'm not paying any attention to the game at all. This is not a game you play because you want that problem to solve and to sink your teeth into. This is a game you play because you just want to kick back and relax. The music, which you don't get in the digital board game, really does help with that. Oh, he went to the shop. Oh, you're a meanie. Okay, so very similar to last time. I can go get some more money. Never a bad thing. That'll mean I'm the last one into the inn, which means I'll be the first one to play again. Or I can go straight to the inn, have my choice of whatever food I want, and be the last person to take my turn. I'm going to go for the cash. Because if I'm the last one in, if there's a shop close to the inn this time, which it sort of looks like there might be. Yep, there is. So I'll be able to go shopping straight away, and I can clear it out if I want because I've got a ton of coins. Holding onto the coins at the very end of the game isn't really worth it. I can't remember, sorry, I've just got the manual here. Whoops. There we go. Can't quite see. I don't think it will let me... I don't think it gives you points. At the most, it'll be like a point per coin or a point per 2 coins, something along those lines. You really want to spend your coins going through the adventure. I can only buy that, that's fine. Now I can't buy that because I've already bought it, and if I try to buy it, it's no. So unfortunately I have to spend the 3 coins, but I still get my 6 points bonus, and I'd rather lose 3 coins and have the 6 points. I'm not worried about the paddy, I'm going straight to the shop. I'm going shopping! And everything's worth $1 anyway. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay, so I need one of you. So as you saw, that was worth 5 points because that's the 3rd item in my collection. This isn't my 4th item, this is the 1st of my new collection. So I'm going to buy that as well. And I'm going to leave the other fan because I don't think I'm going to get more than 2 collections out of this game. Look at this. He's painting. Why was he painting? This is something else you can do. You can, just while the computer's doing its thing, you don't have to pay attention to it. So I got the most hot springs. Oh, I'm now 2nd for cuisines. So that 3 coins I had to spend wasn't exactly terrible. And when you score in Tokaido, if 2 people tie for the same benefit, you both just get the benefit. I haven't met any travellers. I'm now coming 4th for donations, which is pretty terrible. And so now what I think I'm going to do is pretty much ignore. I'm not going to get any bonuses. If I have to paint, I'll paint, but I think I'll focus on, because I'm miles away from completing and getting the bonus, but if there's not another decent position to go to or something else I think I can maximise, getting 3 points for painting a section isn't terrible. I might give a couple more coins. I'm going to prioritise going to the shop and meeting people so that I can... Meeting people is always good because you get a random bonus, and going to the shop because, well, set collection is pretty much the best way that I'm going to get anything. I don't really want to be in the way there, so... Remember I said I'm going to ignore paintings unless I get something out of it? I don't really want to do anything that's in there. Look at that. I don't really want to do any of these sections yet. So this will let me jump straight to the temple, give a couple of coins, or if other people jump ahead a little bit, will let me jump straight to the traveller or the shop. And this is like, that's it. It took me about 5 times longer to say that than it did for the thought process to click through my brain. Yes, I've played a lot of Tokaido, but this is a game you can just kick back and relax and enjoy playing. Let's go donate some coins. I know what, I don't normally do the donate track. Not because I don't like it. It's normally I pick a paint. Normally I get given a painter or something along those lines. In the board game, shuffle up the characters, deal out 2. People get to pick which one. In the digital version, you can pick which character you want straight up out of all of them, or you can make it randomized. That could be a mobile thing though. I'll check that out in a little bit. It's actually been a while since I played this on the computer. I normally play on my phone. Yeah, another thing I'm a little bit disappointed to is the Crossroads expansion was promised for a long time digitally, which just adds an extra couple of things to do. It wasn't a complete, thoroughly in-depth. There we go. So I missed out on my chance on seeing somebody, but I can go straight to the shop. And you'll notice too, the computer is not being especially kind. Do I spend 2 coins now for a guaranteed 5, but potentially miss out on 6 points? Yes, yes I do. This is where you just got to make those little, oh, is it worth it, isn't it? You never know if it was worth it until you look at the game in hindsight. Oh, but this is going to let me be the last person in again. And then there's only one more day. The game is almost done. So as you can see, I've played 2 days in the length that it took me to explain everything that was going on the first day. Tokaido is really simple, really fun. Just kick back, relax. You don't turn your brain off, but it's not like, say for example, Pandemic, where you've got to remember, okay, so which cities came out, what's potentially left in the deck, how do I maximize this, how do we get this here, remove it. It's just, kick back, relax, enjoy yourself. Which is something that I really appreciate. Okay, so oh wait, no, I was only 1 point off the culinary, wasn't I? And this is where I wish I could remember what's in the next stage. I'm going to buy the Donburi and use up all my money. Oh no, okay. So I'm going to do something that I don't normally do, and I'm going to jump ahead a fair bit, which will give a few people a chance before I get to do anything. He's telling me what it is. So he's going to give me a sea painting, so that's going to give me 3 points. Like, didn't have to do anything. It's a little bit random. Sometimes you can complete panoramas that way. Some people will just give you cash. I actually would have preferred cash right now, because there's 1 shop left in the game. So if I want to try to maximize my set collection, I need to get 3 coins, and then I pretty much need to get to that shop. So I could be rushing this day. But the tutorial does not take it easy on you. It looks like everyone just leapfrogs each other. No, it's not always the case. It's a pretty sound way to look at how the game plays out, but it's not how every game plays out. There you go, doesn't see it all, he's just jumped straight across, which means somebody else that was hoping to get into that sea panorama can have a chance to do it. There we go. There's no... I've had games that are very similar, but I've never had the same game. And it's amazing how much I've had people that say, oh, all you ever do is just hit Travelers and you win. It might work once, twice, but that'll be it if you play 8 more times. There's no one set way to win. Now I can't get any more money. That hurts. So I am going to try to luck out and meet another traveller. Oh, please be one of those missing ones. It is not one of the missing ones. So I got a free item. That's great. But as you can see, I've got none of the little idle ones. So my 7-point opportunities, completely gone. I'm also going to lose 6 points at the end of the day because I'm not going to be able to buy any food. So yeah, pretty much just hosed myself pretty good this game. Oh, and I was coming first too. But I'll still get a couple of extra No, it won't, because it's only the first player that gets that. I'll get some points in shopping unless someone goes crazy. I'll get points for the Steam unless someone goes crazy. And unless someone goes ballistic spending money at the temple, I'll get some points for that. So even though I've just lost my ability to maximize points, I haven't lost points. That's something that's very important, because there's a lot of games that I play where you can lose out straight away. Like, oh, you didn't do that? You didn't buy the upgrade on the second turn of the game? Yeah, you've got no chance of getting points for the rest of the game, and we're going to play an hour-long game. Not the case here, thank goodness. So now I'm just looking for points maximization. So I'm going to paint to sea. Even though it doesn't do anything for completing it, it's still 3 extra points that I wasn't going to get. So trying to offset that loss of points and I'm going to get at the end because I'm out of money. This will not take long to finish now. The music in the game is fairly repetitive, but it is nice in background and relaxes you, which I really like. Sure place to visit. There we go. We go to the inn. Here it is. Doesn't matter what I got. I got no money. Can't do anything. No. So I just leave. Leave without eating? Yeah. I'm sorry. I really wanted food. But let's have a quick look at the scores. So at the moment I'm 6 points behind the leader. So this is what I mean. The scores are really crunched up together. It's not. So I got this, and so now what's happened is the game has ended. So we're getting the achievements and recognition at the end of the game. So I got the Bather achievement, got the Collector achievement. Didn't get the Chatterbox because I didn't talk to anywhere enough people. Didn't get enough for the Gourmet. I was tired, didn't need much to beat me. But I did get 7 points for temple donations, and the 2 people that gave 4 both got 10 points. So I don't think I won. No, I didn't. Came second. That's not terrible. Especially when if I could have eaten, I would have tied for first. And possibly won, depending on what he picked for his culinary choice. And that's Tokaido. That's it. That's the game. Playing by yourself, as I said, it's a game to sit back and relax with. It's a little bit of fun, a little bit of that fun frustration. It's like, oh, why couldn't I find this guy, or why couldn't they choose to go somewhere other than where I was? But it's a game that I can sit back and relax and enjoy myself for half an hour. So, well, actually, no. Probably takes me closer to 20 minutes to play a game when I'm not talking, explaining things to people. If I had just one more person, even though we'd have to play a imaginary third player in the board game, I'll pull the board games down, hands down. It's sitting out there, I love it. But when you're playing just by yourself with, I want to set up a new game. Here we go. So we'll exit that one. I want to set up a new game. So we're going to play offline, we're going to play solo, we're going to play with 4 players. Who do you want to pick? The board's already shuffled, everything's done. Who are you? Gets an additional, which gives him an additional point. He meets someone before choosing his meal. So he gets a free traveller at every inn except the end. So, sure, why not? That's it, that's the setup. There's nothing to shuffle. There's nothing to reset. There's no handing out of coins. You just start playing. And this is what I love about the digital implementations. What I call faithful digital implementations. So if I play Mysterium or Cluedo on electronic version, they to me are not as... There we go, so I got a mountain painting. It's not that they're not good games, and it's not that they're not fun. It's they force you to do these little sub-games rather than just sit and play the game if you play through the single-player campaign. They're a fun time. I'm not trying to say they're bad games, but if I want to play board game with other people. I'd rather play like this and not have to worry about unlocking it because I've hit this point or done something along those lines. As a game, because Tokaido is such a laid-back, relaxed experience, it's a hard one for me to give my normal rating on because you will either love it or you will not. There's not really any middle ground, but this is a game that I can see myself pulling out in 10 years' time. So on one hand, I want to give it a 9 because it hasn't stood the 10-year test. I'm not 100% sure, but by the same token, it's not a game for everybody. I would probably give it a 7.5 to 8. Digital implementation at the moment on the App Store, I believe it's free. So that's great. Go. Run out, play it, give it a go. The board game has gotten a little bit hard to find, so I've seen it in Australia anywhere from the $60 mark to the $130 mark. That's just too much money. 130, 60 is a great price for it. But it is a game that you will need to have multiple people around to get the most out of it. I went straight to 4 other players because to me the game is only fun at 4 to 5 players. As you've seen in a couple of sections here, like where I'm at the farm, there's two points I can go to. If I was playing this on 2 or 3 players, which is the normal, every section only has 1 point, so you can't have a chance to double up. Once that point is gone, it's gone. So yeah, I definitely much prefer playing this at a higher player count. But the art is beautiful. It has a very easy to understand rulebook. The computer game, not so much. It took me a while, even knowing how to play, it took me a little while to work out how to play it. Tokaido, if you just want to sit back and relax and enjoy the company of your friends, Tokaido is a great game. With the digital version, if you just want to sit back and relax, tune out, have YouTube playing in the background or something along those lines, go for it. It's wonderful. Knock yourself out. It is a game I think most people will enjoy. If you still have doubts after seeing me play it, by all means wait for it to jump on sale or grab it while it's free on the App Store right now. But Tokaido is a wonderful game. I thoroughly enjoy it, and while I might walk away from it for 6 months to a year, I will still pull it back out for another game. And so even while I've just been summing up, I'm just going to sit, meet someone. So somebody's donated to the temple for me, so now I'm on the temple board. I got 7 coins. Let's have some tempura. Wonderful game that you will play over and over again. Even now, I just intended to leave it open, leave it running, but I've just been flicking while I'm talking. It's very addictive. But you can see why if I just wrote a piece saying, look, it's really addictive, without explaining why or seeing somebody's reaction to it, it's really hard to understand. So hopefully this helps with all that, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry about the drop to my desktop, but you know, live recording, these things happen. But have a great weekend, enjoy. I hope everyone's staying inside and staying safe and everything is going as well as it can, and I will catch you next time.